In today's video, I take you guys through somewhat of a full body-ish landmine workout, and then I finish off with some cables and posing. Just sitting on the massage chair now, kind of just getting some relief in before I head out. Plus, the bus isn't coming for another 20 minutes, so I'm just gonna chill for a bit instead of waiting in the cold and in the rain. If the screen is rattling, it's because the massage chair is going ham. Anyway, if this is your first time on the channel, subscribe. And if you like the video. And we'll fast forward to the first working set now. Doing a lower body dominant workout today. Starting off with some landmine squats. Going for 8 reps of each exercise. I'm supersetting quads with hamstrings, so push-pull, but for the lower half of the body. You know, even though it's only been one day since I've come to the gym, it still feels like a really long time. Like I missed this place, you know? Anyway, 8 squats for 8 deadlifts. The angle of the deadlift, since it's on the landmine, since it goes back that way, it helps get a fuller contraction on the glutes. I'm still recovering from my cold, so I'm not trying to go overly heavy. My goal today primarily is to get blood flowing and get a decent amount of work in, just rack up some volume, not necessarily hit failure. Essentially like practicing movement. One of the ways you need to visualize training is you're almost practicing movements. So for example, shooting a basketball is a movement that you would practice. All these different exercises are movements that you practice, and you need to keep all of these fresh and practice them almost with lighter weights, and then you get better at the heavier weights. Same like if you get your shooting form right at a close distance, you become good at it at a further distance. So by practicing the movement at a lighter weight, you're able to handle heavier weight more easily. You can go ahead. So the second exercise that I'm doing is a deadlift to row, but the difference between the first deadlift and the second deadlift is I'm focusing on keeping my legs a lot straighter. So I'm doing a stiff leg deadlift, but with the Landmine hex bar setup. Trying to really focus on getting the hamstrings and glute working. And then at the bottom, I'm doing a row just to add a little bit of back end. Again, kind of working that concept of working the body as a chain and not as individual components. I think working the body as individual components is what's responsible for creating imbalances, because I think naturally we gravitate towards disproportionately I can't remember words again. Disproportionately giving volume to body parts that feel nice, instead by kind of incorporating all body parts in your day-to-day workouts and mixing in one muscle group with the other. I think you get a lot more balanced physique and workout and reduce the probability of imbalances. And then immediately after the deadlifts and rows, I'm going into side twists. Five each side. Yeah, that's the second exercise. I'm gonna do 4 sets of this. Yeah, so this is a leg dominant move, but the rows makes it a little bit of back maneuver, and then the twist is an abs and core thing. Again, trying to incorporate the full body into my workouts and not necessarily try to isolate a muscle group, even if it's not an isolation exercise. So for the third superset, I'm doing staggered landmine thrusters. Again, a movement that focuses on using the whole body as a unit. The staggered stance forces a better recruitment of the core to allow for stabilization, and throwing a thruster into it incorporates or throwing a shoulder press into it, making it a thruster, makes it a shoulder press, or incorporates the shoulder. My mind's still all foggy from being sick. So the commentary today isn't top notch, but yeah, the whole idea being to use the body as a unit, and utilizing multiple muscle groups at the same time, that allows for better growth hormone release and better testosterone release. And I'm supersetting that with perpendicular landmine rows. the perpendicular. So since the landmine goes, the angle of the landmine forces the resistance to move that way. It recruits the rear delts a little bit more, and this is a good movement by which you can overload the rear delts outside of a face pull with reasonably heavy weight. That was my last set of that. I did 4 sets total. I'm going to move into something a little less taxing now. Some arms or something like that. So yeah, that was it for the landmine section of things. For arms, I had to do my favorite superset, the one that gives me the best pump. Rope tricep pushdowns to alternate kettlebell curls. You guys think there is a superset that gives you a better pump than that? Then feel free to drop all the wrong answers in the comments below. Because I'm sure once you try out these alternating rope grip tricep pushdowns, you will likely convert to this as your favorite arm superset. Assuming that you guys like to superset bicep trig. But yeah, there's nothing that gives you quite a good pump like high rep rope grip tricep pushdowns to alternate kettlebell curls. And on the tricep pushdowns, you really want to focus on the squeeze at the end and flexing the wrist to get that additional bit of contraction at the end. Same thing applies to the curls too. Focus on the squeeze. I'm going at an inward angle to focus more on the outer bicep than the inner bicep. No real reason. Today is outer bicep kind of day. Going for 10 minimum. I like to keep a minimum sort of rep range, I guess. I mean, not really, but sometimes I like to have as a minimum rep range. And for this particular exercise, I'm giving it 10 reps each hand. But yeah, that's my arm superset. We're going to do them back to back with no rest in between. The gym is particularly crowded today. Not sure if it's because this is one of the few gyms that's open, or because of the condensed hours, everyone's here at the same time, or a lot of people missed the gym yesterday and they've been eating a bunch of good Christmas meals and cookies, and they feel fat and you find the necessity to burn a lot of calories today. I remember once upon a time when I was trying to lose weight, and one of my friends, we used to play basketball together, but his family was a huge Christian family, and they would make a lot of sweets. And when I would go to his house sometimes, and then he had all these delicious Indian like cookies or whatnot, and I finished a fuck ton of them. And I just ended up, so I was bulimic, and I ended up just throwing it all up I thought I was being, a little, uh, whatchamacallit, genius. I thought I would found a cheat code to where I could eat as much as I wanted and then throw up. But little did I know it had a lot of detrimental effects. But yeah, uh, that's a video for later. I want to make a video about how I got out of bulimia and anorexia and eating disorders in general without the help of a therapist or anything like that. I think that'll help a lot of people out. But yeah, this is my first arm exercise. I'm gonna pump out a few more sets of these, maybe some abs after that. A little bit of a physique check-in. There's something about being sick and not eating that'll get you super shredded. I do look smaller than I want to, as in, so since I haven't really eaten, there isn't a whole lot of glycogen and sodium and potassium in the system to give me a good pump. But nevertheless, sometimes just being ripped is good enough. I want to take off my pants to check my legs out, but I don't know, there's too many people. You know what, I should probably just say fuck it and do it. Oh, here's the leg update. My legs are bigger and shredded than they've ever been, and they seem to blend in well with the rest of the physique. Too many people either have too big upper bodies for their legs or too big legs for their upper bodies, and I think both of those are silly. You don't need extremely big legs, and you don't need an extremely big upper body. You need balanced proportions. Yeah, that's my legs too. Oh yeah, that's a physique update. I'm gonna do some stretching, but not really record too much of it or any of that at all. But yeah, that's my body update.